So welcome to Lesson 2, Introduction to Marketing. And what we're covering in this lesson is what is marketing. In Lesson 1, we stress the importance of marketing, why you absolutely must market. But what is marketing? Well, online there is a very sharp lady called Heidi Cohen. And a few years ago, she came up with no fewer than 72 marketing definitions. And these definitions were from very qualified sources. But thankfully, in this lesson, we are only going to look at five marketing definitions from 5 very, very sharp marketers. So we'll start first with Joe Polish, who has a terrific podcast online called I Love Marketing. And as you see, he's very well connected as well, good friends with Tony Robbins. He's also Sir Richard Branson's largest fundraiser. And Joe Polish, when talking about marketing, starts with the relationship that you need to look at between selling and marketing. Joe says that selling is what you do on the phone or in person, whereas marketing is what you do to get someone on the phone or in person. And what's refreshing here is that he fully acknowledges that the sale itself, a lot of the time, still needs to be done face-to-face, one-to-one, on the phone or in person. But what Joe is saying is that by the time somebody comes to you, they need to be predisposed, pre-interested, pre-motivated, and pre-qualified to do business with you. And Joe says your marketing should do that for you. Next is a gentleman called Eben Pagan, who has made over $100 million online with his various training programs. And when Eben talks about the definition of marketing, he says marketing is creating the best information package or communication method where you communicate the results, benefits, and transformations to people actively looking for those things. Now, you're going to see certain patterns that emerge in this particular lesson as far as the target audience. But here, Eben is actually talking about you create something and then you're communicating the end result to somebody actually looking for those things. Jay Abraham is known as the billionaire maker, and one thing he is certainly not questioned about is his sharp dress sense. Jay Abraham's definition of marketing is the continual educating of a customer or prospect for the life of that customer on the advantages and benefits and self-serving to them results that you, your product, your service, your program, your company bring that nobody else does, can, or will. So when we look at this, I want to point out 2 very important things. Number 1, he says the continual educating, meaning you never stop marketing. And the next is the self-serving to them. You know, people, particularly customers and prospects who are actively looking for something, are very fixed and determined. So the more self-serving to them results that you can highlight with your marketing, the better. Jay Abraham continues by saying marketing is the intelligently formulated process of increasing the demand or desire for your product or service and the strategic process of bringing those interested to completed action. Now, when you see the increasing the demand or desire, I've actually heard some marketers say increase the conflict with your marketing. So if somebody, if you know, is having a challenge about something, you actually increase that and then you put what you have to offer in front of them. So as we continue on with the marketing definitions, next is Drayton Bird, who is widely regarded in direct marketing terms as one of the true living legends of marketing. And Drayton says something short and sweet. He says marketing is finding out what people want and need and giving it to them. Now, this is an interesting one because Gary Bencivenga is the copywriter who, for the most part now, has retired, but is just revered in marketing terms for the fact that for many years he would write adverts and sales letters that could not be beaten by other talented writers. And Gary Bencivenga says something quite similar to Drayton, but I'll point out the slight difference. He says marketing is finding out what people want and showing them how to get it. He was very well known for, in his marketing pieces and his advertising, always showing a bit of training, almost as if the client or the prospect didn't actually end up buying. Their experience would still be so much the better for having read that piece of material. So look at this. Finding out what people want and showing them how to get it. So those are 5 marketing definitions, and the good thing about this video is you can press pause and you can find the ones that closely resonate with you. But something I'd like to say and point out just before I go. It's another saying from Gary Bencivenga where he says, you are not the star of the show. Your product, service or program is. And in a more sort of blunt way from Drayton Bird, he says, don't talk about yourself with your marketing, because no one is particularly interested. Now, of course, it helps if you can say, look, we've been in business for this long and this is what makes us special, of course. But you've got to focus very much so on what you're actually providing and the long-term benefit that your prospect or your existing client will have if they buy again. So, coming up in lesson 3, we will be talking about the 2 types of marketing, but there is only one that you need to use. I look forward to speaking to you in lesson 3.